Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is that time of the week. I can't believe we're back here again, but it is time for Tactical Tuesday. Hello and welcome back to Tactical Tuesday. Yes, it is Tuesday. It's the time every week where we have a bite-sized chunk of goodness where I get to spread the love about all things tactical and all things strategy when it comes to you and your business. And today we're going to be talking about sales, and we're going to be talking about how to make sales easy rather than make it complex. Because for years, like we're talking like the 25 years that I've been in business, whether I've been working for someone else or when I actually started my own business, I really went out of my way to make sales complex because I find it to be fascinating. I am absolutely in love with the topic of communication, and I love dissecting how to make communication more effective. Now, in the dissection of that, in understanding it, I delve deep and I discover that I get lost in the complex. And I've got people making some comments here, and I wish I could see them, but I know that I can't right now. So hopefully that's going to show up in a moment. We'll see how we go. So welcome to everybody who's jumped on board this session today. But we're going to be talking about how to make the complex in sales much simpler, and how to make it easier to sell more, and which makes it easier for you as the salesperson, and also easier for the client because they don't need to suffer through your complex process. And there's a number of different things in that. So the problem that I find that most business owners have is, number one, most of them don't see themselves as salespeople. So they certainly don't see themselves as sales professionals, which means that they don't see it as an area of the business that they're going to spend a lot of time in getting good at. And so what they're looking for normally is a simple process. There's kind of like a hump in sales, and I might actually put it up here. I wasn't even going to do this, but I might anyway. When sales, there's kind of like this sort of hump and a sort of a what do you call that? It's a graph, two axis. And this axis is effort, so how much effort you need to put in. And over here we get results. And along these axes, what we find is there is a couple of different points to get you from being rubbish at sales, you really have nothing that you can do around sales, to getting good. And so there's some processes that we need to go through. Now, in the course of learning those processes, we overcomplicate things. And so just quickly to show you, imagine that this is kind of like the trusted advisor. Now, for anybody who doesn't know who the trusted advisor is, it's that person who is trusted to open up to have a conversation with, to the person you trust to share what's going on either within your business or for you personally. That's that trusted advisor position. And for a lot of people, they think that that's sort of the pinnacle of sales. But that's where, like, the pinnacle of sales, when you have to spend a lot of time and effort to do it. From there, the game becomes a lot easier and it becomes a lot more fun as you move from trusted advisor through to mentor, through to sort of oversubscribe, so you have more than enough work, through to what I would say is called celebrity. Now, on the way up that hill, as people are moving up the hill, there's a number of things that people need to go through. Now, number one, and I talk about this in my sales training, I talk about this with sales groups, but number one is that they need to understand their product. What is it that they're actually offering? What are they delivering? Do they have... actually, that's not true. Number two is product. Number one is process. And the problem with the process, if you just have a process that steps you through from here to there, you can't answer questions about the product because you don't know the product that well. So here, process. And so people start at process and they get stuck at process. The second is answering questions. So you're very good at answering questions. And up here is asking questions. Now, what's interesting about that is that process gives you steps to follow. But once you're through the other side of process, you're getting to asking questions, answering questions. You're actually having a conversation. And I guess the thing I want to share with you today is having a conversation, and conversational sales becomes so much easier than trying to follow a process that might have 20 different pieces. And when I started in sales, that's what I had. I had like this process that was 20 different steps. everything from starting from being appropriate when you walk through the door at the right time and all those different things, through to finding commonality with people, pact identification, identifying if there's a pact that they're going to jump into, and all these different things. Very complicated. So that's one, is that people don't see themselves as a salesperson, so they're not going to put the effort in to actually go over the top of this hump. Number two is that they usually have a process, and at the start, because they haven't had enough practice, they don't see themselves as a salesperson or a sales professional, so they're not going to practice to get better. So what they end up doing is that they do it when they need to. And because they do it when they need to, what they end up doing is finding that it's clunky. And I don't know if you've experienced the sort of clunkiness that happens from trying to put a new sales process in, but that's what happens. You're sort of wooden, you feel scripted, you're trying to actually walk through some steps without really having confidence. And it's the confidence that you end up getting on the other side of practice that is the thing that gets you to this really nice, comfortable conversational selling strategy. So there's a couple of things that actually come into that. So there's some problems that are existing. The place you want to get to is you want to feel comfortable. Or you want to feel comfortable that you're just having a conversation. And that's really what it is. You're having a conversation to help this person in whatever area that they are stuck. All right. So they'll have a problem that needs to be solved. If they don't have a problem, you shouldn't be having a sales conversation. It's as simple as that. But you're having conversations versus selling to people. And so in the thought process of that, there's this really cool movie that I like, which is Glengarry Glen Ross. And in Glengarry Glen Ross, there's these fantastic actors. It's got like Al Pacino, Jack Lemmon, Alec Baldwin. And Alec Baldwin, and there's a bunch of others. Kevin Spacey's in it too. Fantastic movie. If you like sales at all, if you like the idea of men struggling in a sales environment, then check out that movie. But there's Alec Baldwin comes in as a sales trainer, and he's hard. He's hard line. He's like, you're going to get kicked out of here unless you're doing the right thing. And basically, A, B, C, always be closing. That's his whole big thing. Now, when this was shot, so the 80s, that was the game. Always be closing. How can you get yeses? And I can understand why they would have done it that way, because it worked. At the end of the day, it did work. So those old sort of sales processes can work, and they do work when the time's right. At certain points in a buying cycle, there'll be indecision, there'll be like overwhelm, all sorts of things. So sometimes you have to help people get over that. All right. So that happens a lot. But we want to move away from always be closing. We want to move away because it doesn't work that way anymore. Buyers, people in general, you guys are more sophisticated than that. You know what you want, and you won't buy what you need, you'll buy what you want, right? And until someone actually is a trusted advisor with you, and you do believe that they're there to help you and understand that, until you're at that point, you're not going to actually let them talk about the other things that you need that you've maybe got blinkers on, right? So people are willing to buy what you want. So how do you get yourself in a situation where you're helping those people say yes? So instead of always be closing, it's ABO now, which is always be opening. How can we be opening a discussion? How do we open a conversation with people so that it's a two-way interaction? Because that's the much better and easier and comfortable way to be doing sales these days. And so always be opening. Conversational sales is the way to go. Now, what's the example? So always be closing is the idea of going, all right, I'm coming in here to this conversation with a product in mind, and I'm going to make them buy. So you're going to do something to someone to make them buy. That doesn't work anymore. Like, it works from time to time, but it doesn't build good, long relationships, and it's not comfortable for most people. So the always be opening discussion is much more about, I'm going to have a conversation with this person, see if there's a problem that they have, understand what they've already tried to do to actually solve it, and then see if my product would be a good fit for them. And if it is, then I'll discuss how that might work. But you're not going in there with the intention of making them take this thing. You're going in there with the intention of helping them out. So they have a problem. Let's go and discuss, is this a problem I can solve? If it is, great, we can talk about how that might look, collaborate with them. If it's not a problem that you solve, don't try and force your will upon that person. Don't try and force your products and service upon that person. refer them to someone who can help them, which means that later on they're going to come down the track. If they've got a need that you can serve, then they're going to be more open and receptive to that because you haven't tried to force yourself on them. So how can you be in an open conversation, having ongoing communication with people so that they feel that it's a collaboration and it's a conversation rather than you trying to force something on them? And then, like, the metaphor for this is great. It's you're going in. So the bad version is you're going into the conversation with a square peg and you're trying to force it into their round hole. And as we all know, we don't like square pegs being forced into our round holes, so don't do it. If you are one of those people who likes a square peg in a round hole, then it's probably a very different conversation. But I'm talking about sales here. So when it comes to sales, don't try and force square pegs into round holes. You go and have a discussion with someone, understand what shape their hole is, and see if your peg is the right match. And if it's not, refer them to someone who would be better suited to look after them and their problem. So that's the thing. It's no longer always be closing. It's always be opening. Always be opening conversations with people and having a discussion, a conversation to see, A, can I help this person? B, can they say yes to this thing that I'd like to offer them? And C, how can we collaborate to make this work for all of us? I hope that's been very, very helpful. My name is Russell Pearson. This is Tactical Tuesday, and this is how to make your selling process just that little bit more conversational and that little bit easier for you in your business. Now, if you're seeing this outside of the Future Proof Business Group, now the Future Proof Business Group is a fantastic community we have over on Facebook, which is all these great people that I can see online right now are commenting and actually being part of this live conversation. From time to time, the comments don't work quite well as they are today, but we also get to have a conversation. They ask questions about the video and I answer them afterwards. So if you are on that call, you are putting comments or questions into the chat, I will be answering those after this session. So please do those. And if you're watching this in replay, feel free to put those comments in there too. Now, but if I have sent this to you from a different source, you may want to consider joining the Future Proof Business Group. It is a fantastic group of a few hundred people, great opportunity to network, almost all business owners. It's people who are actually driving their business and looking at how they can future proof in this crazy environment we find ourselves in. It's a great place. It's absolutely free. And I'd love you to join us in the conversation over there. So either reach out to me or look up Future Proof Business Group on Facebook. Until next time, let's try and make sales a little easier, a little bit more conversational. And until next time, stay passionate, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye for now.